And then Westside Gunn said he called out the fan base saying, we respect all of them boys, but there's a lot of heads that fuck with us that be like, man, we don't fuck with them. That ain't real hip hop. He said, how are you going to say that's not real hip hop? So I see you was about to jump in, but I don't have a problem with them saying this. How did you take it? Because I know you was about to jump in.
I took it as truth because, I mean, honestly, even when people see the title of our show, The New Old Heads,
right?
I think they just see the old heads portion and omit the new. New meaning that we have more of a newer outlook on a lot of this newer shit. Like I fuck with a lot of the new shit, but I also don't fuck with a lot of the new shit too, as well. But there comes a line of like being overtly corny about not fucking with new shit because you're so in tune with wanting to hear things the same way that you're used to hearing it. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying that there's not a lot of whack stuff out here or watered down, oversaturated, mimicky, copying everybody else. Right. I mean, it's definitely that going on. But if you're not searching for new sounds or appreciating new avenues of this art, then you're pretty much being a hindrance, I think. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm
not mad at that. Spoolz, jump in. What's your take on Conway's Conway and actually
Westside Gunn? It's interesting and it is true. I mean, I like those dudes a lot and have for a while, and I see that amongst other fans. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I don't have time to like dislike anyone that much. You know, it's like just and some of those cats that he mentioned, like I mean, like to me, I guess the older I get, the more and more I get or the more and more the whole this is real hip hop and this isn't argument is starting to get just a little older and just played out to me anymore. So
I agree.
Then you have the cats too that don't listen to any hip hop but Eminem, and then they call that the real hip hop that y'all don't know what the fuck y'all talking about.
True.
I mean, it's all hip hop. It's just whether or not it's good or not. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like so, and obviously one's personal taste goes into that a great deal. So, but no, I agree with what they said, and I totally feel that. So,
what you think, Lo?
I got lost in your reading, so I didn't hear the question.
Ain't that a bitch? Everybody else got.
So what was it? Something about
He's serious too. I thought he was
dead
trolling
serious.
for a second.
He's dead serious.
So something about
I was trying to clean up the quotes, man.
Westside Gunn called out Griselda fans for being closed-minded.
Oh, okay.
Basically saying,
got you.
Westside, like their fans don't. Their core fans don't appreciate or don't care about.
I think what it is that a lot of Griselda fans are older heads, and so we see it on our channel from time to time too. The older heads are just a lot of times bitter and old. Like they don't want to hear anything new unless it sounds like a specific thing. So I definitely think there's merit to it. Not everybody. But definitely there's a group of people that thinks hip hop is and should have been made a specific way, and anything outside of that is bastardizing it outside their little worldview. So yeah, I mean, I agree with them, but it's not news to me.
Was that you or was that L Brown that stated when they came to Chicago to one show, they actually were indifferent about Griselda because they wanted to see whoever the main act was. Who was that? Who was the one that was closing out that night? Who was the headliner?
Benny was the headliner that night.
No.
The night I was there.
Okay,
are you talking about Trees?
No, in Chicago there was a show.
Oh, okay.
Maybe it was an earlier one?
It might have been an earlier one.
It wasn't Benny.
The one I went to was Benny was the feature. That's the one I went to.
It must have been
Me and L Brown were at that one.
Okay, so who else performed at that show?
They had there's a guy, I cannot call his name, that travels with them. He usually opens. He'll do, I don't know.
Is it El Camino?
It might be. Yeah. I'm about to. I know him when I see him, Spoolz, but I don't want to say the wrong thing.
So it might be a different time then, because I remember it must have been Ills that was talking about this. that stated something about some old heads were there, and they were pretty much ready to hear whoever.
Oh, it was the Locks.
Was it the Locks?
It was a different show note you're talking about.
Okay.
Yeah. It was when they were there to open for the Locks reunion tour.
Yeah, and they wasn't trying to hear Griselda.
Yeah.
So it's funny. So
that.
now they've grasped onto Griselda, and now anybody, you know what I'm saying? That's whack.
Yeah.
Well, it's just like it's the same thing across the board with humans, man. Like in general, like we don't like stuff unless other people like it. I don't know what that shit is. It's goofy, man.
I don't know if that's human.
Is it not?
I think I don't know. I would. That's a fun. That'd be an interesting like conversation to have.
I guess.
But like,
I mean, I'm not like that. I know you
I
guys.
don't know if that's
aren't,
like
not even close.
innate in us as people, or so much as it grows out of like things like the
People are
social
scared to like something
structures that
first.
we create for ourselves as human beings, like capitalism and different things like that.
Okay. How does that go into that though?
Into what you,
Yeah.
into
What he said.
into what you like about. Say what you said again.
Shit.
I mean,
It got deep.
the basis of what you said.
Essentially that people don't like stuff until other people like stuff.
it.
Right.
Yeah.
So how would, like, in a society that values things the way that it does,
Okay.
because of capitalism at the end of the day,
Okay, now I'm following you. Yeah.
financially that often, occurs. Like, I want this fucking bag because this other person has this bag because it makes me look rich, even though I'm really not rich.
Right.
But that type of shit. You know what I mean? I don't know how much the cavemen looked at one person's rock back in the day and said, I want their rock and I have to have their
Right.
rock. You follow what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think that is an interesting. I don't understand why that's a thing with music. I guess unless it's just a status type.
I
thing.
think it's because
heavy in
because the
music, too.
idea. I don't think this is solely it, but I think this has something to do with it. The idea of making music that is going to be around for a long time isn't as big of a deal as it used to be anymore. I'm not saying that's the only reason, but I think that definitely has something to do with it. It's all. Terry's called it microwave music before. It is. I mean, it's a lot of music that I won't say that. A lot of popular music
Or
that comes
moment
out.
music is only good
Moment
for the
music.
moment.
Yeah.
But what's gonna be through your mind? Like I mean, like if you go to a show and you're going to see the Locks, right?
Mm-hmm.
And cool, there's these dudes on the bill that you don't know of. These Griselda dudes, who knows? And then probably some Chicago dudes open, I'm guessing as well. Was that the one with Noriega on it too? That was a different one.
I don't think Noriega was with them.
That's a different one.
But they probably had a couple local acts.
But all right, cool. So they know the Chicago acts.
Yeah.
They don't know the Griselda acts. So because they don't know them, you don't like them. Like I don't know. It's just weird to me. I guess I don't know.
Yeah,
When
there's
I was-
a lot of haterism to the point you made before, like in that older, I guess, crowd. You know what I mean? I don't
just-
know.
Or maybe too, it's they don't get out of the house as much, and maybe they just want to see the Locks too.
The
So.
thing is, you also can just not like certain stuff if you want, like not have to talk about it all the time.
That's fair.
That's fair. When I was at the Benny show,
But what's the internet for? And at the end of the day, you know what I mean? So
the Benny show there was a huge section of I think the fan base that we are describing there, right? Because that nostalgia feel, like that's, to me, that's the niche for them. Like there's a nostalgic sound to them, and it takes me back to, we're old enough to know, MOP and Woo and all that type of stuff. Like that sound, like some of that stuff that I hear, I think, it just comes across like, man, I remember how it used to be. So I can imagine of us being that way a little bit. Somebody that's like 5 or 6, maybe 7 years older than us, you can imagine like.
But if you was rocking to the Locks and you don't like how Griselda sounds,
Yeah, like I don't think they're far enough away. Like I see where you're going in terms of the Locks sound versus
that's just an
Yeah.
essence of being stubborn
yeah.
and purposely not wanting to like it because it came out within the past 5 years or so.
I don't know if it's purposely though.
I don't know.
It could be. It just could be. We have to remember, sometimes people just have opinions. Like they're strong and they're passionate about their opinions. There may not be a rhyme or reason or scheme or thought process behind it. It's just that's how they feel. But there might be a situation where some people that's just like, fuck it, I'm gonna hate for no reason just because. Right? Like it's a gray area to me because it's so subjective. Music is subjective. Everybody has a reason, you know what I'm saying, in their mind. Like, and you're not gonna be able to change